Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, social media world? It's your boy Sincere, J Red, Flappers, Brooklyn. Y'all already know. Welcome to the page. Like and subscribe. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. If you're already a subscriber, I appreciate you. We doing anything with your time. And you sitting here listening to me for my little 15, 20 minutes or however long I'm gonna do the video because let's be real. I'm not spinning on my head. I'm not rapping. I'm not singing. I'm not doing any goofy, weird shit. So, it's not for everybody. For all the new viewers, I always say, if it don't apply, let it fly. But somebody, whether it's a family member, a coworker, a friend, could be benefiting from the message. Everything is about timing. So just because it doesn't apply to you, don't mean you can't share it and do of a good service for somebody else, because you don't know what people are really going through. Not all the time people's going to tell you what's really on their mind and what they're going through at the time. So hit that like button and I appreciate you guys. So I do a video about every 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, depends on, life is always lifing. So depending on what's going on, my full-time occupation, I'm an electrician and, I'm in New York City, Brooklyn, dog eat dog world. So, things is always fast paced, speeding. Even when you're not in a rush, you rush it. I guess that's just New Yorkers. I don't know. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. Or was me, I should say. Well, in the middle. Because this is a lifelong journey, social media world. You might hear me constantly always promoting self-awareness, conscious awareness, positivity, growth mindset, or even relationship topics. But this is a lifelong journey. We should always be trying to elevate, always be trying to input new information. Because wherever you're at in life right now, you're operating off of your paradigm, especially if you're not in a self-development mode, if you're not reading, if you're not listening to audibles, if you're not inquiring or seeking new information to further get you where you need to be. Because we are our own worst enemy, social media world. No person, place, or thing can upset you or really get you out of pocket, even though realistically that does happen. But it's really not on them. It's just really that you're not self-aware, you have no self-control. And we all go through it. We all do it. As much as I read, and it still happens to me because I'm a human being. But it doesn't happen as often as it used to happen. You get what I'm saying? So like anything in life, the more you do something, the more you're repetitive at it, the easier it gets. The first time you did something that was challenging, you wasn't nice at it in the beginning, but the more you put your full focus on it, the more you did it every day, the more you were more driven to excel at it, the better you got at it. That's with everything in life, social media world, not just working on yourself. That could be whatever occupation you have or whatever you like doing. Like let's say the first time you, I don't know, played basketball, you probably wasn't good at it, but you liked the sport. The more you concentrated, the more you focused, the more you practiced, the more you put in the work to, go out there and, excel repetitively, you got better and better as time progressed. You got better and better. That's with every single subject in life, social media world. The same laws applies to every single thing. The more you do something repetitively, you have to get better at it. So if you don't like doing something, once you create that habit, that repetition, you're gonna get better at it. You're gonna get better from the first time you did it. Then you're gonna be better at the second time. And then you get where I'm going with it. So this is just not a self-help thing. Anything you do repetitively and you focus, you're going to get better at it. So apply that same process into you, because you only live once. You are operating you. You got the steering wheel. Your body and your mind is the vehicle. Grab the wheel and step on that gas and control the direction to where the destination you want to go. Don't let, it's not an autopilot car where you just sitting there and it just takes you around like you're in an Uber. And even if you're in an Uber, you still kind of know where you're going because you put in that information. So the driver's going to take you where you want to go. But I say all that to say this: you guys constantly see me every 2 weeks beating you guys in the head, promoting self awareness, conscious awareness, growth mindset. And the reason why I constantly do this is because I know what it's done for me and I want to give back. And I'm still not 100% there, social media world. This is a lifelong journey. You guys think just because y'all finished with school that you don't have to pick up a book again and education just stops then. Yeah, school education stops then, but you could always be educating yourself to undo certain things that you learned that are not serving you. Maybe your parents gave you your name. You didn't choose that name. Most likely, whatever religion your parents have, you have that religion growing up. Maybe as you got older, when you started to seek new information in that area, you probably decided to either stick with it because it made sense, or you decided to go with what you feel is more suitable to you. But the whole point is, a lot of the information that we have gotten in childhood, some of it is not serving us today as adults. So we have to really start reading and applying and implementing new information to override that paradigm, especially depending on how old you are in this present time. Because you're only going off the information that you know in this present time. If you don't seek no new information, you're going to just keep going off of what you know at that present time. If you want to get here, social media world, and you're here right now, how are you going to get here if you're still doing the same things you were doing this whole time? How are you going to get here? Clearly, if you were here already, you'd have did something different, because then you wouldn't have been down there. So that means you have to do something different, social media world. You have to do something different. Just because you've been doing something for 10 years, 15 years, or let me say doing something, thinking a certain way, doesn't mean that it's correct. A lot of people I meet and I talk to, and they be like, well, this is how I am, da 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 da. This is how you are because this is how you choose to be. You're going off the information that you've been have and had up until this present time. Until you seek something new, that's just where you're going to be at. Unless something ironically or accidentally, or you hit rock bottom and something drastic happens for you to want to make a change. If that doesn't happen, most likely there's so much distractions in life, whether it's positive distractions or negative distractions. A lot of distractions stop us from really being self-aware, sitting with ourselves, asking ourselves the right questions on why do we think the way we think? Why do we do the things that we do? We really need to start asking these things. Crazy people don't know that they're crazy. So this video, I just really wanted to touch base on that, on why I feel everybody should be seeking to level up, to either be learning something new or unlearning something new. Because you can't choose what you was born into. You can't. Hopefully you had some good sound parents that was, very level-headed and, aware to an extent, and they did the best they can. And even if they weren't, people are only doing the best they can with the information they have at the time. So you have to remember that. That's why I love my mom. I love my dad. You know, they did what they could and what they knew what was best for them at the time with the information that they knew or had on hand. And if you're not reading, if you're not seeking new information, who knows what type of information you have in that brain? Because listen, the mind is a powerful thing. Powerful. I don't really think you guys know how powerful our minds are. And a lot of us have a lot of traumas that we've been through. We might not even look at it as traumas. You might just think of it as just regular stuff. But you wouldn't know that until you become self-aware. Because how are you gonna know? If you don't know, then you don't know. That's why I give a lot of people a pass because when you're not seeking, listen, you only what you're seeking is seeking you. So if you don't go out your way to seek that, people prioritize and do what's best for them or what they feel is best for them. That's why you got to broaden your horizons. You got to open your mind because your mind will take you on a roller coaster ride, baby. You got to make sure you pay attention to what's coming in and what's coming out. And depending on your childhood, depending on your life experience, depending on everything up until this time, shaped you and molded you to think and feel how you are at this present time. And most likely, unless you know, grew up around a Dalai Lama or Nelson Mandela or somebody with some, just overall pure heart and that is self-aware, you're not going to have that. Like I said, hopefully you had some decent parents and they implemented certain decent standards, morals, and values into you. But I can speak for me. No, I definitely did get good standards, good morals, and good values. And that's because I come from a Caribbean background. Both my parents was from Grenada. They was from the West Indies. And they definitely implemented a lot of manners, a lot of, how can I say, just good values as far as doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Right from wrong. So I definitely kind of got that basic concept out of them. But other than that, they had their own traumas that they've been through, especially back then as parents coming from a third world little country, little small island that probably half the population at that time could even read. Like, who knows what they've been through? So the stuff that they passed on to me or didn't pass on to me, I don't really hold them accountable for it because they were just operating off of the stuff and information that they had at that present time. So that's why as you get older, as you get through the basics, elementary school, junior high school, after you get a certain age, you should seek new information. You should seek to either learn some new stuff or unlearn some new stuff. But if you don't seek that, you don't even know what you need to unlearn and learn. Like I said, distractions, positive distractions or negative distractions. You don't know unless you know. I guess that would be called ignorance. So that's what I want to kind of touch briefly about this video. And I'm already 13 minutes in, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time. But that's why it's so important. And you always see me every 2 weeks pounding in your head. Self awareness, conscious awareness, positivity, leveling up. Because you could be self-sabotaging your whole world. You could be hindering yourself. You could be damaging certain relationships that is good for you, but because you're operating on the information that you know, and just because you've been doing it for 10, 20 years, depending on how old you are, you think it's correct and you think it's accurate. I'm telling you not, it might not be, but you're not going to know until you start seeking new information, start seeking self-help or go to therapy. If you don't have that drive, because not everybody can do that. Not everybody could put their own fire under their ass. Some people, it's kind of like, how some people to work out, they need a physical trainer. To me, I always feel like that was a waste of money. especially in this day's time. Why am I going to pay for a physical trainer when I can read a book and just implement the information they're giving me? Or if you don't like reading, I could go on YouTube and look at some videos that could show me the right way to do a certain thing to get where I want to go on a physical level. Some people need, and you have to know yourself. And this is why working on yourself, having a growth mindset, seeking that self-help development aspect and skill, this is why you should be doing that, because you need to learn and know yourself. Learn to master yourself. What you need to unlearn or learn. You are in charge. You are the director of your movie. You are the most important person in your world. You need to study yourself. Pay attention to you. A lot of you guys are on autopilot, thinking you're aware, thinking that you are thinking, and you might be in certain areas, maybe not on an overall balanced scale, but you're not going to know that until you start seeking that, seeking new information. So there's no do-overs, social media world. You are with you until you leave this earth. You are a spiritual being having a human existence. So as long as you're here on this earth, I don't see why you would not try to be leveled up and become the best version of yourself. Because like I said, a lot of things that was passed down to us, we didn't have no control over, especially when we were kids. We were like sponges. Our parents was the water and we were the sponges. We soaked it up, or our peers, or our teachers, or whomever. And then as we got older, and now it's so funny, as kids, we're fiended out to be adults. So we don't really want to educate ourselves no more. We wanted to do adult stuff. So now that we become adults and we're adulting, we don't want to go back and, we finished with that school stuff. I'm not picking up a book. But then guess what? When you don't pick up a book, you might be hindering yourself, because you might not be where you need to be on a mental level, on a physical level, on a spiritual level. So reading and working on yourself is just not for your mindset, not just to have a growth mindset. Maybe you need to learn how to eat more properly, dieting. Maybe you want to become more spiritual. So see how this all stuff ties in and it goes to reading and it's still a part of working on yourself? You want to be the best version of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Because you don't know where you are until you start paying attention to you. Because depending on when you discover that you need to start doing this, who knows how long you've been on that paradigm. Now you have to override a lot of habits that you've been doing for this whole time, thinking it was right because you didn't know no better. If you don't know, you don't know. That's why sometimes I give a lot of people a pass. But once you know, now it's your responsibility, and not saying that's going to be perfect because you know, because we're human beings. As much as I talk about self-awareness, positivity, conscious awareness, I still F up. I still slip up. This is a lifelong journey, social media world. This is not a day and night fixed problem. It's not. Crazy people don't know they're crazy. And I say that to say this. How you are and who you are might not be helping you, might not be serving you to be the best version of yourself. You might be self-sabotaging yourself and don't even know because of the way you think. You could be a negative thinker and not know you're a negative thinker, just thinking that, it's just the dice that was rolled. But mentality, attitude is everything, social media world. Your mind is very, very powerful. That's why I'm always going to continue to push and promote self-development and growth. Mental health is a serious, serious thing, social media world. Everybody is different, very, very different. And you don't want to get to a point when you become overwhelmed and you can't deal with reality and you're looking for all different types of escapes, whether it's through alcohol, marijuana, gambling, or whatever your vice is, just to not sit there and deal with yourself and pick up a book and read. And trust me, I know from experience. I've been there, done that. Trust me. I know. And I want to get deeper. The whole plan of this video was to get deeper and break down the history of why I started doing this YouTube page, and just why I feel like working on yourself and self-awareness is so important and what it did for me. But I'm already 20 minutes in, so I'm going to save that for another video. But that was the intentions of this video, is to just show you, just because you've been doing something and living a certain way for so long doesn't make it accurate, doesn't make it correct. It's just what you do. That's all it is. It's what you've been doing. And if you only been doing what you know and knew at the time that you have been doing it, until you get some new information, until you start implementing and processing that new information, you're going to continue to live the way you've been living. So that's why I'm always going to promote self-help, growth, mental health awareness. I apologize. I didn't really get into why, but I promise you the next video, I'm going to get a little more detailed into why I became who I became, why I'm sitting here in front of you doing these videos, because it really helped work wonders in my life. I'm a whole completely different person than I used to be. And everybody got a story. You know what I'm saying? My story's not the worst, but it's far from the greatest. And it's still a lifelong journey until I leave this earth. I'm always going to continue to be trying to master myself. Self-mastery, that should be your goal. That should be the number one goal. Because once you get to that level of self-mastery, people, places, and things will not dictate how you feel. Happiness starts and ends with you. Everything else could just add to that happiness. But when you go out your way to look for external things like people, places, and things to make you happy, you're going to be chasing your tail all around, because only you can do that. People are not People are not robots, and you can't control what happens. What you can control is how you choose to perceive what's going on, your mentality and your attitude to what's happening. That's the only thing you have control over. And even that is a hard thing to do. But like I said, next video, I promise you, I'm going to get more into detail on my history, why I started doing what I'm doing, why I started reading books, how I became to become self-aware, even though you're never going to be 100% self-aware. Like I just said, this is a lifelong thing, social media world. I'm far, far from perfect. I still slip up. I still F up. Not as much as I used to. Everything is repetition. Once you know, once you are awoke, however you want to say it, it's hard to go back. You got to constantly keep yourself accountability and be real with yourself. Learn, ask yourself questions. Why do I do the things I do? Why do I think the way I think? And what do I believe in? Why do I believe in that? Because sometimes you might have to change our beliefs. Sometimes what we believe is hindering us, and we have to believe more in ourselves. You don't get what you want in life, social media world. You get what you believe in. Sincere J Red, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Y'all already know. I appreciate you. Till the next time. You